Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to my video where today I'm going to be telling you the 5 best things to see and do while you are in Iceland. In this video, I'm going to be more talking about the southern part of Iceland. The southern half of Iceland goes about up to the western peninsula in Iceland. So that's the most north we're going to go here. And it's going to be the southern half all the way to as east as Hoffen. So let's get right into the list. The first thing on this list, number 5, is going to be Reykjavik and the Reykjavik area. So pretty much there's a lot of stuff to do in Reykjavik. It's a cute little town. I really enjoy the town. There's a lot of stuff to eat. There's the Chuck Norris Grill, I think it was called. We ate there, of course. Yeah, there's a lot of shops you can walk around. There's food stands. Go and get some famous Icelandic fish and chips. Go see the amazing big church they have there and the statue of Leif Erikson. Church was really cool. Town is really cool. Plenty of museums if you're into museums. You can go to the Penis Museum. Phallological Museum is what it's called. You can go to the Viking Explorer Museum. You can go walk along the ocean. They have a nice path on the ocean. They have the Viking boat statue. It's a pretty cool city. I really enjoyed it. Really clean, really nice, and if the sun's shining, it's gonna be warm. Number 4 on this list is going to be the Highlands and Vatnajökull National Park. Keep in mind in this video, most of the things I'm going to be reading off are probably going to be wrong because Icelandic is an insane language, so don't expect perfect pronunciations here. So from Reykjavik, you pretty much just take these roads straight out into the mountains. Things go away pretty fast, so you'll stop seeing towns and gas stations and pretty much everything pretty fast. There are a few gas stations out there, pretty much just 2 pumps with some old building that nobody's at. But yeah, you're out in the middle of nowhere pretty much. The mountains get really cool. There is a lot of stuff to see out there. There are plenty of waterfalls, really cool lakes, really cool glacier formations, cool rivers that cut through the mountainside. It's a really cool area. Unfortunately for us, when we were there, a lot of it was closed because we came in late May, which we thought would be fine. That's pretty far into the spring, but it was not enough. And the Highlands, we got right up to the edge. We saw the surrounding area of the Highlands. We got right up to the edge of where the things get really big and really cool, and the road was closed. We couldn't get in. Unfortunately, that was the reality of things, and we didn't actually get to see what is considered the real Highlands, the biggest, highest peaks in this area. But even without that, this place was still really cool, and we didn't actually get to see Haifoss either, which is a really cool place in the Highlands area. That was also closed. So keep this in mind. If you go in May, anytime before that, obviously, even early June, there's a possibility that your trip, you will not be able to see everything you want to see because things close really easily in Iceland. A lot of the roads are dirt and they don't want people going out there and getting killed. Beware that if you're going to go in late spring, things might be closed. I wish we would have known that before we would have went. And the other part of this number 4 is Vatnajökull National Park. Again, this was a place that was pretty closed off to us, but we got as far as we could go. We got to climb around this really awesome glacier, and there was a glacial melt-off lake. It was probably more of a pond, but the glacier was melting, and there was a nice little area where the water went, and then there was a cool mountain you could climb around. We climbed out there, got some pretty cool pics, and it was a really cool area. Also, we drove out a little bit into the park on this dirt road. We went as far as we could go. Came to this really cool waterfall. It was a little waterfall, not one of the big famous waterfalls, but it was really, the waterfalls there are just insane. This waterfall, not even that notable in Iceland, obviously. I never heard of it. Did a lot of research on Iceland before I went. Never heard of it. It was probably one of the coolest waterfalls. Anywhere else in the world, this waterfall probably would have been named and be super famous for the area and people would go see it all the time. we were out there. We're the only ones out there. We decided, hey, this place is freaking awesome. There's a cool like canyon to the left of this waterfall that's just pouring off the side of this cliff. Went up, climbed up the mountain. Really cool. If it wasn't raining and insanely foggy, I'm sure the view would have been phenomenal. But of course, Iceland, it was super rainy, super cold, and it was foggy as hell. But we did see some reindeer, even though we got soaked. Really awesome experience. Really cool place. Check this place out. Number 3 on the list is the Golden Circle. If you don't know what this is pretty much a circle of roads. It takes about 3.5 hours to drive through without stopping, obviously. But it's right outside of Reykjavik. You start in Reykjavik, go in a circle, come back into Reykjavik. Really cool area. Really cool thing to do if you only have a day, for sure. It's a good day trip. I've been to Iceland twice. The first time, we were only there for 18 hours. We got the whole thing done. There's plenty of places to drive off on dirt roads if you have the vehicle for that. And there's plenty of like little waterfalls on the side. There's amazing views, mountains you can climb up. Me and my friend, the first time we went, we just pulled off on like where they're depositing gravel, and we just climbed up their gravel pit, got on top of the mountain, got this really cool view, really cool area. You got the mountains to your left on the highway, and to the right it's just flat plains all the way to the ocean. It's a really insane area. You see the mountains they just come out of the ground out of nowhere. They're just huge and massive. But the first thing you come to when you take this drive is this weird crater thing. It looks like it was literally where a meteor hit. The sand around it's weird red color, and then there's a circle of water right in the middle. It's pretty cool. It does cost about $8 to go to, I believe. So it's a little unfortunate, but if you want to see it, it's a good thing to see. The next thing on the Golden Circle that you'll see is Gullfoss, which is one of probably the most impressive waterfall in Iceland. It's massive, it's powerful. You can go out to the edge, right to the cliff of it, and you just get destroyed with water. You get soaked, and if the whole thing's misty in the summer, if it's the sun's shining, you'll get the big rainbow over it. It's just an impressive waterfall. Been there twice, loved it both times. It's very cool, very picturesque also. After that, you can go to Geyser. The town's name is Geyser. They have a gift shop, they have a restaurant. Not really a town, pretty much just a hotel and a gift shop. But they have a pretty cool geyser there. Shoots up probably 20 feet in the air. It's pretty cool. They have a bunch of little hot springs around it too, and little geysers. Water's really cool. Cool geyser stuff. And then after that you have, this is going to be butchered, Pingvellir National Park. And here you have this huge Pingvellir Lake, I think it's called. It's a really cool lake, really big. You have the nice snow-capped mountains behind it on the stuff. Also there you have a continental divide where the two tectonic plates, the North American and the European tectonic plates, are separating. So you have these weird formations. You have some places where the ground just literally sinks, just straight down. It's like a cut in the earth. And other places where you have these rock faces just rising above, and waterfalls on them and rivers next to them. You can climb up them. You can climb into them if you really want to. Probably not advised by the officials, but you could if you want to. I climbed up one and then climbed into the other side, and it was a really cool experience. And then in Iceland, they have the weird bright green yellowish moss that's really fluffy and it's squishy. It's a really cool area. The next one on our list is Kirkafell and Snæfellsjökull. This is on the most western peninsula I went to. It's pretty much right below the western fjords area in Iceland, and it's next to a town. The biggest town around this area is Björns. And this is it's a pretty cool area over here. You pretty much drive along this peninsula and you drive along the coast, and you have these really big, really cool mountains with waterfalls coming out of them. They're snow-capped. They're different colors. You have these amazing views all over the place. The drive is insanely scenic. And then it brings you along. You have this huge snow-capped, it looks like a volcano, but who knows if it actually is, covered in snow. The whole thing's almost snow. You have that to your right, and then at the other point you have this amazing coast, this rocky coast with these super cool cliffs, these rock formations, the water just piling over it. It's a really amazing area. Then after you go through all this, you have they have cave tours out there. We can go down in the caves and see what's underneath them, and like volcanic shafts and stuff. They have this really cool church. This is kind of the picture of the area. It's kind of just, it looks like Alaska kind of. It has the wide open valley with these big snow-capped mountains. Of course, they have waterfalls. And after you get out of this national park, this Snæfellsjökull, you have Kirkafell, the mountain, and then Kirkafoss, I think is called, right next to it. Number 1, this is kind of a big one, but it's the Highway 1 from Reykjavik to Hofen. I didn't know how to separate these things unless I'm doing like specific waterfalls, but really I don't know what the point of that is. You can only spend probably at most an hour or 2 at these places. But yeah, this highway, you have just amazing views all throughout. You have the coast to your right and these huge mountains to your left. And at some points it just turns into glaciers on your left and the ocean to your right. It's pretty astounding. You have waterfalls like Skogafoss, which was really cool. It was kind of like it wasn't at all like Gullfoss. It's not that magnitude, but it's really powerful. You can kind of feel the power when you're there and hear it. It's a big waterfall. You can get right up pretty close next to the top. You have to climb up these long stairs. You can get pretty close underneath it. Really cool area. Really cool mountains in the background also. And there's also Siljansfoss, which is also a really cool waterfall. It's more of a it's definitely a lighter waterfall, not as much water, but right around the corner there's this really, probably better than the named one itself. It had a name. I called it the Hidden Waterfall. It's a waterfall. You can see it from the road if you're really looking, but it's inside of this cave, and you can go in there, take off your shoes, or bring Crocs. That would be much better. You can go in there. The water's absolutely freezing, but you can walk in there. We just took off our shoes completely. Some people went in with their boots, but we took off our shoes completely, walked through the water, and it's crazy. It's just this huge waterfall coming down into this cave. There's a big rock you can go climb up on and get next to this waterfall. You get absolutely soaked, but it's definitely worth it because it's super cool. I thought it was honestly cooler than the named waterfall itself. Also on this road you have Reynisfjara and the Black Sand Beaches, which are amazing. Reynisfjara, or Reynisfjord, I also heard it called, is really cool. It's this black sand beach. These pointy, rigid, huge black rocks just out in the ocean, out on this huge, it's honestly massive. You don't really get the scale of it when you look at pictures, but this thing was massive, this mountain next to it. You look up and you're just like, holy, that is such a big mountain. And you have these really cool rock formations right on this mountain next to the water that everyone goes and climbs on and takes their picture on. It's a really cool area. The waves are nuts. You see all these people out there taking pictures of the mountains and the rocks, and these waves just shoot up probably 30-35 feet off of where you think the water line is, all the way up. They just soak these people up to their like ankles. We even played a game where we'd try to see who would get the closest because the waves were so unpredictable. See who get the closest, kind of play chicken, get closer and closer and closer, and then the wave comes, you gotta book out of there. Yeah. And then there's also, right down the road to the east, there's the sign I believe is for some caves, but is actually this really, really, really cool area. There's this cool little cave, and you can walk along these mountains, and there's caves in this mountain, and that's really cool. And then you can also just turn to the right of where these caves are, or directly in front of them actually, and you can drive about 2 miles down this like black dirt, black sand beach, and you can go down there so long. It was super foggy when we were there, of course, because we had 2 days right in the middle that were rainy, foggy, not fun. But yeah, you could just drive straight down this thing. We drove about 2 miles. It was really cool. You couldn't see anything but this black dirt and this fog. It was insane. And we eventually got to the beach, and we're like, how close can we get? Got stuck. Had to get some help. Push us out. Got out of there. Also in this area, there is this pretty cool hike. We didn't know where it was going, but it brought us up this mountain. It's pretty long, actually. It brought us through this, on these mountain sides. Really cool. It's super foggy. Couldn't see anything, so we had no idea where we were going. We were just following these poles. Brought us to the second settler of Iceland's house, which was kind of cool. It's a long hike for it, but overall it was pretty cool to get up there and see that. Also, there are the lakes. We saw 2 different lakes. Jolkasarlan, which was pretty cool. It's the lake with the huge glaciers and ice chunks in it. That was a really cool area. There's also another lake that's less populated than that one right before it, or probably 10 minutes before it. It's a pretty cool lake. And then at the end of all this, where I got to, you can get to Hoffen, and Hoffen's a cool area. You got this pretty cool mountain beach right there. Also, I forgot what it's called. It's famous. It was a little underwhelming because it's so famous, and we got there and we're like, oh, it's pretty much like everything else because Iceland's outstanding. That's pretty much all I have for you. I know I talked a ton, probably a longer video than you wanted, but I'm just trying to give you all the information, talk about my experiences there and why things were so interesting to me overall. Love Iceland. I'm definitely going back, probably many times. And yeah, this is pretty much all the best things to do in the southern half of Iceland. Gotta check out the northern half next time, and I'll let you guys know. If you have any questions about anything in Iceland, just leave a comment down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I can give you more like off-road or off the beaten path locations. Like I know a couple really cool places we found on the Highway 1 areas. I can give you good locations to stay, good places to eat. There's plenty of questions I can answer if you have any. Just leave them down below. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. Subscribe if you want to see some more traveling videos. If you like this video, I can definitely make other top things to do in different locations. I've been to 20 different countries. I've been to 25 different states. I have plenty of things I can cover. And